Hello, hello. How are we all doing today? We have a hurricane coming here, and so we've been evacuating and prepping, and it's my first hurricane season, and I am not a fan. I don't like it. Everyone keeps telling me not to worry, but then telling me all of the horrible things that happened during it. I was like, how are we not supposed to worry? I don't understand. I'm unwell. So excited to be here tomorrow. Just a heads up. If we actually do get hit with the hurricane that's coming today, I won't have internet service, and so we will not be having a content workshop. But as my boyfriend says, it'll probably not hit us. Stop fucking worrying about it, but who knows? But
Just not worry.
I will hopefully have cell service. We'll have a better idea of how things look tonight because it's supposed to hit tonight and early tomorrow morning. So I'll be able to like shoot a message out either inside of Telegram or send an email or something if it does need to get moved. Hopefully it doesn't and I don't lose all things, but even the conference I was supposed to be going to all this weekend, literally the whole hotel got evacuated everywhere where I live. Like I had to evacuate my house. So who knows what's happening. Yay. Anyways, that's the update. So keep an eye out for that for tomorrow's workshop. But just as for now, everything will go as planned. But today, who wants to go first? What are we celebrating? What did we learn this week that we have been utilizing? And then what do you need support in? I'm also going to have to be eating over here because I'm starving. And I just got home from the gym. So whoever wants to go first.
So for me, things that I'm so proud of, I've been going live for the past 7 days.
I've been like sitting here literally squealing, looking at them. I'm like, you're fucking killing it.
So yes, going on. I think that's like I've been so proud of that just because I think that's I've been wanting to show up more and not just like show up more and like help, but just show up more where I'm like saying my thoughts and not just thoughts and feelings, but like what I think and how I think as a coach and all of that. And so this is like giving me like kind of this space of I'm finally doing it. I'm finally like showing people like how I am as a coach and like what I think and all of that. So very proud of that. And just kind of learning from that too of like, okay, what are the like it just every day learning like, okay, how can I position this better or be better at this? But also being okay, not being perfect. And I think that's been helping me so much of just showing up and being like, okay, let's see what happens today.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like
Um,
you're finding your voice in the process of trying to like articulate your thoughts and things like that? Like really figuring out how you want to sound to your audience?
Yes, I think that like from like comparing myself from the first day to like now, like the first day, like I don't know why I was so like nervous. I was telling my coworker this. I was just like, I show my pictures, I go on stories, but like going live, I was just so nervous. And
Mm-hmm.
like now after 7 days, like I'm just like, oh, like this is something that I had in my head all the time. So it's just like saying it now, like saying it and like just again, like things that I would say on stories now, I'm just like saying them out loud, but like really going into it. I think there's still like things that I'm like, I need like I can get better at like how I communicate that. But I'm like like starting to be like, okay, like this is what I've always wanted to do. Like yes, it's starting like my voice is starting to like it's starting to sound like me. So like every time I post, I'm just like, oh, I like that. Like every like even at the end of the live, I'm like, okay, I like that. I'm gonna post that. And
Yeah.
like there's one that I haven't posted, but I'm like, I like this. Let's do it.
Yeah. It's amazing. I've
um,
been watching you do that. And I'm like, that's really the secret sauce. Like anyone I got asked the other day, like, how did you find your voice? How can you comfortably speak and confidently speak? And I'm like, I went live for 365 days. Like anyone that I've ever studied, the people at the top, that's what they did. They go live all the freaking time in order to find it. And then you study it, you watch it back, you see things. Once you start doing it more, the algorithm will pick it up. So you'll have more people live. You'll start to see what questions they're asking you that
yeah.
then pumps your content in your freebies. And you can start to build things out that way. And your audience just gives you the questions that they're looking for. And you just fill that gap for them.
Okay. And I think that's what I've been noticing too. Like it's the engagement as well. Like even the reel that I posted about being proud of it, like letting your teenage inner girl be proud of
Mm-hmm.
you. Like that's the best reel that I've had in the past 30
It's so
days. And
good.
like and now it's and then like just the post that I've been making, it's just more people like seeing me, and like people who were seeing my stories are now coming back. People that I have like seen like my stories are coming back. And it's just like, oh, now I'm getting a lot more people seeing me. And I was like,
Exactly.
okay, let's keep going.
Exactly. It starts to build because now people, this is the side of personal branding. Like we can make things beautiful, we can go into this stuff, but this is why inside of the academy and things like that, it's like this will be a part of it of storytelling and going live and doing the things because then you get the personality behind the brand, how you
Yeah.
speak, stories, things I can connect with you on it. Like the feedback I always get is like with my podcast and stuff is always like, oh, I feel like I'm FaceTiming my friend. Like that's how you want your audience to start to perceive you versus like all the theatrics and all the things which you guys know I love. Like I love the cinematic approach to things and like the luxury stuff. But that also creates a dissonance to people because it's like it's
Yeah.
their aspirational identity. So you have to also talk to the current identity, which is where they get from the live. It's like, oh, I can start to see your personality and who you really are. And then I see you living my aspirational life. And you start to bridge that gap for people and you give them that both and experience where they can see themselves in you, but also their future identity. And like
Gotcha.
that's where like the branding side and then the storytelling side of the lives, like this is how we bridge that gap.
Got it. And I think that, okay, so now that you're talking about that,
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to go into as well. And yeah, to talk about that a little bit more of like, I think I asked, like, how did you strategize going through 65? But now
Mhm.
it's for me, it's just like, okay, if I'm going to be doing 365, how can I like now be a little bit more, yeah, a little bit more strategic about that of just not just wanting to be like, okay, here I am live, but kind of getting more into the storytelling where I'm not like trauma spilling, but also just making it a little bit more like digestible because my lives aren't that long. Like that's what I'm figuring out. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't have to be in here as long as I need to. Like it just could be 10 minutes and done. So it's just like, how can I start like breaking that up and like kind of talking about those things each and every week?
Okay, so I am actually, you're going to start seeing me do this as well because I'm playing around for this launch of Boulder Branding Academy. Instead of running a masterclass, I'm going to see what it's like to do a live each week and see if I can do a 15-minute live and see how that converts, doing the same principles I do inside of masterclasses. So I like to think of just like in content, my content is a mini masterclass. I'm teaching you a mindset switch. I'm teaching you some type of strategy, or I'm teaching you the mistakes that people make. That's usually what it is, or my story. Those are like the 4 ways that I do content, right? Which is a masterclass in and of itself, because if you look at any masterclass I run, those are what I talk about anyways. And so when I'm going live and when you're going live, it's just looking at that, like what mindset switch do you need people to make before coming to work with you? What are the mistakes you see people make before coming to work with you or that they have about being, a thick woman going on a health journey? What mistake is that? What is something, what is a method you walk people through, like in order to create a healthy dynamic and these things, like really looking at these things and just like that hook where it's like, I can teach you in 15 minutes how to become more confident. Watch this. And you just open your live like that. And then you start open with the story, I think I have let me find it for you. My podcast storytelling. I think I sent this to you guys before. Podcast outline. Where this is literally, it's from Russell Brunson, but now it's just like stuck in my head. This is just how I tell stories. But like you want to open with a hook whenever you're going live. Like we can bring people in, whether it's like your personality. I've been seeing how you're doing that. Where you're like it's just so you, like watching it is just so you. And then just kind of getting in where it's like in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to tell you exactly how I started to clean my curves. Ready? And then getting into it where it's like, I remember when, like getting into that feeling of like the internal struggle and the external struggle of not having the confidence. And then you're talking about the goal that you wanted to accomplish and like that types of things. And then you're talking about the resistance that you felt and like just you're gonna get better at this over time. But this is literally the outline that I do. And then as for topics, yeah, it's usually mindset, method, or mistakes around something that you're doing, and you'll just source that from your everyday life. You'll hear that in comments, especially too, like people that watched your reels, like people that are engaging with you, people that are in your DMs, people that are watching your live, when they're asking you questions or like they're saying things like that should be your next live, like answering that
Yeah.
question. And just kind of going that route, you'll start to gauge that. And also you can look at on other people's profiles that I forget you shared me her name. I can't remember her name. But
Either
I think it was
Julia.
Julia something. But if you go and you just read comments on her page, You'll find topics to talk about. It'll be very easy because people are probably spilling their life story there about the things that they're going through. That's what I used to do with like Matthew Hussey and things like that. Like I would just read the comments and I'd be like, topic, content, masterclass. There
That
we
makes
go.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that I posted today was Ashley Graham, the model, and
Yeah.
she was talking about confidence, and so that could be another topic too to talk about. Okay, I
Yeah.
got it. Makes
You have
sense.
365 things. Like there's going to be so many things for you to cover and to dive into. Let me close this door really quick.
Okay.
But also don't be afraid to use Chat Daddy. This is how, if you've been seeing me inside of separation season, I gave it the context and the overflow of what I wanted to come. And then like the journey I wanted to take you guys through and the outcome. Here's where you're at. Here's where I want to take you guys during separation season. Here's what it's actually doing. And then every day I structured the first one saying, this is how I want it to be. This is how I'm going to speak. This is how I do my things. And then every day, all I do is give me a new one. Give me a new one. Give me a new one. And so it gives me ideas. And then I go with it with my general flow because it doesn't fill in the gaps and give me an entire script, but it's like, tell about a personal story where this happened. Tell about a personal story where this happened. And I just like, we have AI. If you want to put it all into your uses of just like when I did 365, we didn't have AI. So it was just like I was inspired by my life. And the whole journey of 365 was I was becoming my best client. So I was sharing the things that I was going through, the stuff that I was navigating, the stuff like the trauma stuff, like things that I learned that day and how I was embodying it in the story of that day. Like there's so many lives where I'm talking about the fight that I had with my partner at the time and how I was dysregulated and how I still showed up for work. And I was just kind of talking about those things, pretending like they were past tense when they were present, and just kind of sourcing from my life in that way because I was becoming more and more of the embodiment of my ideal client and that leader that I wanted to be. So there's so many ways you can go about sourcing content. It's just what feels good in your body.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. That's my question. Thank you.
I love it. Wait, can you go back and talk about Chat Daddy for content again? I can literally show you.
Yeah.
This is so hard not to do on my monitor. Okay. So I have a general idea of what I want to do when it comes to separation season and my concepts. Like my AI, I have the 4.0 version. So I've trained it. I train it the way that I speak. It knows my programs. I've fed it my internet. I fed it my content. So it knows the way that I speak, the way that I write. It even knows Eddie. Like it when I say something about relationships, it's like Eduardo Gomez, da, 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 da. Like it knows everything because I've been training it for a long time. So that also takes time. Share. Can you see my screen? Yeah. Okay. So literally this is what I do. Give me another. There's nothing fancy with it. And it gives me the topic of what to talk about for that day. And I fill in the gaps based on like, okay, obviously the power of saying no. You guys know I talk about this often. I even have a podcast already that all about this stuff, but this gives me an idea. So at the end of the day, when, I don't know what to fucking talk about. Sometimes I do, a lot of times I don't. So I just use Chat Daddy and it knows what to do. And so in the beginning, I fed it information. Strategy based, give me separation. It knows what separation season is because I've said it in other context over here.
Yeah, I guess that's
Things.
my question. So like you explained like what you were about to do with your business and then you just kept like that like area open when you were talking to it, so it just kept knowing about separation season, just like creating content from that.
Yeah, so when you have the 4.0 version, it has a memory. And so everything I ever write in any of this stuff, it remembers. And so it knows from my content, from podcasts, from different things, from stuff I've used for Eddie's stuff, like it knows separation season is a thing and it knows exactly what I'm using it for because it has stored memory. And the free version, that does not exist. It doesn't have a memory base. So that's why I like the paid one because now it knows everything. It knows my emails, it knows the things. Like it doesn't fully sound like me, but for things like this, it's like it knows what separation season is because I've already fed it what that is for certain stuff. And so if I were to like do this on the free one, I would give more context. And a way that really helps with Chat Daddy is have it ask you questions. So, hey, I'm going on a 365-day live journey. I want to come up with enough topics that will convert really well for my audience. Can you ask me a series of questions so that you can get my tone correct, you can get the messaging correct, you can just ask me so you know my audience and my niche, and then can you give me 365 topics to talk about? Great. And it will ask you around 7 to 12 questions so that it can start to understand, and you just answer those questions and then it'll feed you everything you need. Same thing with content, same things with like, if you like copy and paste something, we're like, here's 3 examples of how that I write content. Can you write me an email for this? Can you keep the tonality, but write me an email for this that then sells into this program, blah, 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 things like that. That makes sense. I will be talking how I use ChatGPT in the academy because Cassandra's the best assistant you will ever have, but the other next best assistant is my AI chat daddy. He provides, you know? Okay. Who else? What other questions we got? Who wants to go? I can see our lips moving, but you're muted.
Yeah, honestly, I'm so behind on Boulder branding just because I've been like focusing on other things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like um okay, well, I'll just kind of like go and see if there's any question or anything that comes up.
Yeah.
And maybe I
You
can
can
ask a question.
also ask me questions about the other things. I think it'll benefit the group as
Okay,
well.
all right, cool. That's what I was
Yeah.
going to ask
Yeah.
actually, if that was possible. So what am I celebrating? Oh, I'm pretty sure I just had someone, I'm like 100% positive that I just had someone join my mastermind. So that's exciting.
I love that. Congrats.
So yeah, I sent her the link, but she said she's like 100% in. So I'm just obviously, waiting for her to open the message and pay.
Yeah.
Um, but that was really exciting because I haven't actually like really sold my mastermind for months. So it
Yeah.
feels cool that it was just like engaging through DM. It is someone that also knows me. I'm always selling to people that know me.
Yeah.
But I haven't like been with her in person for like, I don't even know, 6 years. So she's just been following me online, so that's, I guess, cool.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so that's exciting. I feel like I'm also celebrating that I'm feeling really, really connected, kind of like what I shared with you in the testimonial. I'm feeling just super connected to my brand right now, which feels really
Yeah.
amazing. Like things are feeling more effortless and organic. Um, I think the biggest thing I'm trying to maximize right now, or like what I'm really learning, is like really maximizing my time.
Mhm.
Um, because I was experiencing for a moment like feeling like I was like hitting like a burnout edge. But then realizing too, like I have the opportunity to do something like different with it, obviously, this time as I'm like growing to the next level of
Mhm.
success. So it's been beautiful to just reprioritize, but I'm definitely giving myself like, more time to nurture me and just like seeing where I'm still like the biggest thing is just my time. So where is it not being utilized appropriately? Um, so I'm learning a lot about that right now, I guess. Also learning how I need time to kind of really just sit with this like transformation that's taking shape with my content and with my writing, and just allowing the embodiment of the change to actually like,
Mhm.
marinate and digest so it's more effortless and organic just to keep showing up as I am. Um, so yeah, I guess I'm just really learning how to work with time totally different. And that's
Mhm.
exciting. Um, what else am I learning? I think that's really like it right now. Um, yeah, I feel like a question that I have or some things that are coming up. Um, so I have maybe like one or two questions. I'll see if they're
Yeah.
like in relevance to how they're flowing. But um, I think the first thing is, wait, I actually wrote something down I was going to ask in Telegram. So let me just see if I have it here. I do. Um, okay. Okay. I have kind of a complicated question, but hopefully it will like make sense, especially I don't know if it'll make sense to everybody here, but um so right now I am building out like some different like systems with Laura. So I'm working on a freebie and like building out you know how I'm selling my mastermind through that process, like it's rebrand. Um and kind of how to go about the process of like having this like free masterclass kind of thing and like repurposing it and creating content and just like directing people to it. And I guess a question that I have that I don't think I asked you was what when oh wait. Oh yeah, so like when you are selling your freebie after you've done the masterclass and it's just like comment here to access like first of all, like, I guess I can look at your content to see what you say, but do you just say comment here for my free guide or like comment here for my free masterclass? And
Yeah. So
then my other thing around that is, um, do you just then have it connected to an automation? Like I'm assuming it goes to many chats, and then is it just connected to an automation, like
mhm,
email sequence where they
correct.
get the actual like they once they pay, they get the class, and then if they want to proceed in working with you, they get a is it like another email with like they're paying and that's the link in there? I guess I'm wondering how that whole
So I
process.
can show you the whole thing, my back end right now. I think that'd be
Okay.
helpful,
All right.
right? So
Yeah.
someone comes in and you'll see on my page, I always say, even in my recent post, blah, 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 comment branding. And I'll send you a free program showing you exactly how I did this to create a business model that fits my long-term goal of passive income and time freedom for motherhood. Because that's what Boulder branding is. Granted, I am gonna reshoot Boulder branding because it was pitching to this mastermind. I love it. It's converted really well for me. And but I'm now selling the academy, not the mastermind, so I have to fix the pitch on it. But yeah, that's constantly in my everything is branding. Or if it's relationship, it's magnetized, but we're gonna leave that one. So my entire back end is, oopsies,
So everything is comment branding, basically.
comment branding. What do you guys see
Unless
right
it's
now?
for love.
You see my whole screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have, what happens is they come into my automation here on, where's branding? Branding. And so they'll comment and then they get this email or they get this in their DMs. And then this then gives them the link to this. This. And this has a lot of steps to it. You're not at that stage. This is a lot of upsells, downsells, like, hey, do you want to join this or this? If not, but it's just this landing page, which I'm sure you've seen, blah, 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 as the information, what have you. Their information goes here, then gets sent into my email sequence here. So ooh, what was that? So they will come into here. And it's just my backend sign up email. Hey, welcome. Here you go. You signed up. Yay, you're so cute. Blah, blah, blah. I don't actually know what this says in here. Oh yeah, a little introduction posted to me. I think I sent you like my email breakdown of how I do all my emails for these things. So I have that I haven't sold them anything because it's just day one. I'm not gonna like blast them being like, good for the free thing, buy the fucking way. Like I'm not gonna do that yet, but I will do that in the second one. And I will do a PS. Hey, have you joined Boulder Branding Academy yet? Just right here. And so
Okay,
it
and
won't come up.
and it's still the same call. It's like I'm assuming the same freebie that like the one I did with you. So
Mhm.
you're still talking about it like in it, but you're not necessarily putting it in the email. It's just talking about it in the video, but you're not putting it in the email.
What do you mean?
Well, I remember on the actual masterclass, you did mention it in the beginning on the first day. I thought you
Yeah,
did.
I'd probably because I usually do a CTA within the first 15 minutes of any call that I'm on.
Right.
Um, and then I give more information throughout. That's the way that I teach. I sell you in the beginning and then I keep selling you throughout the entire thing because I love the shit that I sell.
Right, right. But like I guess too, I'm wondering, did you take anything out? You didn't take anything out of your live calls. So even though you talk about the bonuses and everything and their like early action. Okay. So if
I don't,
anybody wants to join, they're
yeah,
just they're
people
working on
know that they're not on a live call. Like I
sure.
don't sell that way. Some coaches do, where that's like join the live call and it's just there's web things that you can do for that. I don't.
Okay.
Um, yeah, like the bonus, you can't get it. You weren't there live. The bonus to stay to lunch, you can't get it. You weren't there live. Like it's fine. Again, I'm gonna re-record things from this so that it is just me doing same concepts, same things, but more direct for this sale to the academy. So it's a little more squeaky clean. And that's what I would recommend for the one that you're doing is like knowing you're going to be reselling this like again and again and again and again for the next several weeks to several months, like talking about things where it's like, hey, no one has ever emailed me. There's been how many people that have gone through this? 121, right? No one's ever emailed me being like, give me the bonus, you little wench. Like, no,
Yeah,
no one's
yeah,
upset. They
yeah.
understand the difference between a live call and a replay on something. They're still getting the benefit. And I still have people that convert even though they weren't live.
Okay.
And so it's that's literally all it is then and then after that I have an email sequence. I have about 6 emails. I actually have to work on that later. So it does sell a little bit more because I'm selling multiple things and like, but that's more complicated just because I have an extensive product
Yeah.
suite.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
my funnel's just bigger. Like I have different programs that still lead to the academy. I've just structured it that way, but that's long-term vision. We're just doing it with one thing right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, I mean, I have like stuff like that, but it also comes in my mastermind. So I'm not so concerned about like
Yeah,
something else.
your thing is just you're making a freebie
Right.
and you're gonna repurpose it and it's perfect.
Okay.
Right? And you're probably gonna redo it 1,000 fucking times because that's what we
Yeah.
do, because we get better and we see did it convert? No? Okay, let me do it again. Oh, okay, let me do it again. Like right now, I just said the masterclass is converting, but I want to fuck around with IG lives. I want to see how that converts. And so I'm trying that for a month to see how that goes before I do a live free event, just because I've never done it before. I'm gonna see how it goes and I'll let you guys know. But
So
the
you're
thing that
basically with that, you're just like doing like what you just shared basically with Jackie is just like taking one concept and doing like the same
Mhm.
like breakdown that you would, but then you're just pitching them
Yeah.
to comment, DM or yeah, I guess that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's the same thing that when like I'm describing what it is and blah blah blah, but like I've been watching one of my other mentors do it in this like 15-minute sale a week thing, and I'm like, that sounds fun. Let me
Yeah.
try it. And so I talked to my mentor about it, and she's like, it's way different than the master classes and blah 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 and emails. And I was like, I don't really care. I just kind of want to try. Like, I just want to see how it goes. So I'm going to test that to then tell you guys and see how that goes. But
Okay.
something I do know that works is the live training, the live momentum parties to get things going. You collect emails, you know their Instagrams, you know who they are, you follow up with them, you make relationships with them in your DMs. They start to be your core audience before then you have the bigger reach where it's like, I don't have enough time to reach out to all of you, but like that's how you grow. It's like the beginning stages. So that's
I
what we're
think,
building you, where it's just like we
yeah.
want to start with the momentum party. And I think that's where you're kind of getting trapped, where it's like, but how is this going to be repurposed over time? It's just repurposed over time. Like I haven't
Well,
changed anything.
I don't have all the things set up, so being able to see many chats like that was supportive. I just like haven't had anything like that set up. So
Did I not
understanding
send
how
you the
that's
link?
actually connected, I don't think so. But how that's like seeing how that's actually connected was actually really supportive because I was like, how the fuck are you like following who's connecting with your stuff and like reaching out to them? So I haven't had
Um,
anything like that set up yet. So I wasn't
okay.
sure how.
So I have this whole document because you know I love documents to explain everything I do.
I love that you create documents, though. It's great. It's very
Everyone's
efficient.
like, I'm so overwhelmed, but like this is actually awesome. I'm like, I'm an SOP girl. I'm a visual learner. I have to see things.
I am too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a document here, how to set up many chats, what to put in your captions, how to put it all up, and just use that.
Perfect. Thank you for
And you
that.
can do the same thing for podcast episodes. Like if you want to set up a money chat for podcast, hey, comment podcast, and I will send you a link to my podcast. And then it can be that, and then people will get linked to your Apple or your Spotify account and dish it that way. Just the thing is, you're training your audience. So this applies to everyone here, where it's like anything you want, you want to train your audience on what to do. So it's like that's why I love many chats, because I love you guys. I don't want to answer all my DMs. I really like, or my all the comments. Like I used to, it used to be super fun. I do like to look at them when I have time. It's not where I spend the time. I hate scrolling. Like it's just not something my brain likes. So you can do it, but if you train your audience to comment on your stuff, train your audience to comment for a podcast link versus just look at the link in my bio. That's not playing with your audience. You want to be social with your audience, even if it's a fucking robot. Like you just want to get them used to engaging. Comment for podcasts, comment for this, comment an emoji of send this to your bestie, send this to like get them used to engaging with you. It's really, really
That
important.
That's actually perfect. That was my actual other question that you like helped me remember in this moment because I was like, I know I had two questions, but I can't remember what it is. So this sale that I just, I'm in the process of making right now, like
Mhm.
that happened from polls,
Mhm.
and just like being in that engagement through DM. But I'm curious to know, like, I guess I would love to know some creative, like different ways you've had your um community engage with you on stories. Like obviously I know a lot when it comes to like, like fun kind of polls that's not always
Mhm.
business focused, but like just kind of like day in life stuff to kind of train them to get excited in that way. And then kind of like also doing like where are you at? What are you trying to call in? Like being really raw and honest with them, like wanting to support them, but also like, all of that stuff. But I'm just like, what are some creative ways because I feel like I
Yeah.
am such a community person. Like I thrive with community and I just tend to make my sales through people that know me, even like, $35,000 sales. So I'm like, what do I need to do to like create a deeper community kind of aspect online?
Go live for 365 days. Like it's just how much are you actually being social? A lot of us want to be seen on social, but we don't want to actually build a relationship. That's what we do. I did that for the longest time and I couldn't figure it out because I'm really good at posting content and I just want you guys to see me and I want you to see how sexy I am and all my cool branding that I put shit on. But the thing that converts really well for me is when I am dressed like this, I go live and I'm fucking weird. And people are like, oh, I can relate to you more. Versus this woman that is this bold person that's like this, and I'm gonna fucking eat your dick for breakfast. Like that, people like that energy, but it's not relatable. It's just that aspiration. And so to build that, it's just like I'm hanging out with you guys like I do my friends. Like that's more relatable. And so 365 is great. I know it sounds like a lot, but it is a good push. For polls wise, I have found, and I've been testing this. I don't know if you guys have noticed, I love it. Like even now, I have nothing on my page. If I post one thing, my story views fucking quadruple. And I put a little thing, I put a thing, I was at the gym and I was like, fucking let's fuck around and find out. And I put like, what are you guys looking for right now? Dating, business, both. The amount of people. And I thought they were all bots. And I went through and I was like, oh shit, all these people are following me. Like they're legitimate people. And so I went in and I was just like hanging out with them and like talking with them and following up and engaging in their stories just to build the momentum on that. And then I was like, cool. How can I do this again? What I have found is if I can keep it to 2 slides, through the fucking roof, through the roof. But I also like to be relevant. So I'm like, I've been playing between, yesterday was a day where I was posting at 9, 12, 3, 5, 9, just so every day when you checked your phone, Laura was at the top. There was some story she wanted you to look at. So I did that today. I haven't posted anything yet. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet because I haven't had time to think because I had to evacuate my house, but I will figure it out after this call. And then I will do some type of thing, whether it'll honestly, here's what I think I'm gonna do. I'll take a photo of this, screen it, and I will say something about the reason you haven't XYZ is because XYZ. Message me if you're ready to go 12 months to fucking coach. I don't know, something along those lines. And it'll probably just be one picture just to see how that goes. And it's like, we can't put too much emphasis on it. It's like just looking at, okay, if you want to build community, go live. That's always what I say. If you look at anyone, Shosh, for instance, why did she pop off? She goes live being psycho and dancing around. And that's what she did. And she just kind of hangs out when she used to do it when she was on her walks. She would just go live. You know, Melanie, she
Yeah.
did all that. Like it's just that type of thing where it's like the more we
I
can go
actually
live,
really love the idea of doing that. I think I always got like, I feel like I'm so effortless on camera. I mean, I literally have a degree in it. So it's
yeah,
like, and I'm like, okay, like I know that's what I need to do. And
yeah.
so it's like, I think I haven't thought about going live though, because I've always wanted to be like, I'm gonna say fucking gold every single time, and then it's gonna disappear. And I don't want to have to put up posts every single day. And
Yeah.
so I've had this story in my mind where I'm like, I don't want to like lose what I'm gonna say, but I actually love the idea that it kind of makes people have to almost like tune into your show.
Well, also, perks of your career, you're gonna say the same shit 1,000 times. I literally today at the gym, I go on to Jamie Carlima's podcast and I just want to listen to something like motivational on my walk. I've heard that story 300 times from her. She said it on stage. She just said it here. She's like, it's not the story that you guys always hear about me, the one that they say in the magazines about me, the Denny's waitress to the billionaire, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, she literally has said the exact same fucking thing on stage. When I saw her speak, the exact same thing. So it's not the same story. Yes, it is. I've heard this one. Same thing with Ed My Life. I know every story that you're about to tell me because you have said them all. Like, that's just what we do. Like any keynote speaker, the stories, you guys have heard, I have said them 100 times. And sometimes I listen to things back and I'm like, that's fucking gold. And then I try and redo it and I was like, not as Goldie Locks as that one, but it's still there. It's the essence of you. You can never lose it. Like you're speaking the way, something that's really helpful for me is I am always speaking to you guys like it's the first time you ever found me. Always. And so even if you've heard my story 1,000 times about how I went through a breakup or drugs or my mom or getting hit by a car or meeting Eddie or what have you, like they're all just kind of there. Like they're just things that I have to keep telling the story and get into my body. A thing that I see, which is wrong. Again, we're going to talk about storytelling inside of the academy when I talk about this. Thing a lot of people get wrong going live is they're talking because you talked yesterday. You assume everyone that's tuning in heard you yesterday. And so you're talking to them like they should know something. And then they're sitting here and they're like, I'm missing part of this story. And so every time you tell the story, it's like the first time you ever told that fucking story. And so you can never miss gold. You can never, people will never, like, you won't miss a moment because they're essence. And if you do, and you don't want to keep it on your profile, there's this fun little hack. You can put it live on your profile and then you can go onto this website. I don't actually know what it's called. Instagram. I just type it in Google video downloader, Instagram video, and it's called Snap Insta app. And then you put the link into the post that you had, and then you can download the video, and then you can archive the video so it's no longer on your profile, but you still have the video.
Wait, can you
I
repeat
got
that
you.
again?
I got you here. So you can go say like you went live and you don't want to lose the video, but you don't want to post it, keep it on your page. Really, because today is kind of whatever, but I want to keep the video and use it later. You can go here. You can take Instagram. Jesus. Hello, Grant Cardone. You can go, what video do I mean, I can even do it with this one. Go here, close, type it in, download, close, download. And now I have the video downloaded to my computer. And then I can just archive this so it's no longer on my page. and then you still keep the video that you wanted without it being in your thing. So it's never, you can never lose gold.
Isn't there a way too to kind of like download all of your Instagram like content?
I do it through that.
You do just everything through that, even your posts or just your videos, your reels and
Just
stuff?
my videos, just my videos. I don't download. I wish I was like my mentor, who is very meticulous and saves all her posts and puts them all into folders and does all these things. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I tried it for a week. I felt fucking insane, so I didn't do it.
Well, but
I
I
just,
think I thought there was like an actual program. I thought I had heard there was like a way you could just download your entire Instagram feed, basically. I'll try to find that out. It's one of
yeah,
my
I'm like,
friends
I have
who
no
told me.
idea. I wouldn't,
Um,
for me, I'm like, I
when
don't
you do
need it.
that, it just saves your videos. It's not
It
saving
just
your
saves your video. Yeah.
right. Okay.
So you're like, oh, like I loved that live. I want to repurpose it into something else. I don't want you to have it for free. I want to go sell it. Cool. Take it off your profile, put it into that. Well, put it on that thing, then archive it in your profile. Never delete anything off your profile. Your the algorithm does not like it, just archive it. But just download it, then archive it, then you have it, then you can sell it.
So you don't actually have your like any of your Instagram downloaded, any of your stuff anywhere for your own benefit if anything were to happen to Instagram? No.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just
I'll
like
find
for
out
me, like,
what that is and I'll put it into Telegram if I find out what
yeah,
it
if
is. In
anyone
case.
wants to use it for me, that's never my concern. Like my art is just I it's mine. Like it's just like I can't all the thoughts, all the experiences, all the stories, I'm like I will retell these stories again. Like it's just like that type of thing. And I wouldn't want, if something ever got deleted from me, I'm like, I would want to recreate it if I had to. And I wouldn't want to fucking do all the algorithm shit and build up an audience again. But hey, kind of doing that kind of stuff. But yeah, if there's an app or something like that and that feels relevant and that's something you want to do, yeah, do it.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Did that help? I know I talked in a lot of fucking circles there, but
Yeah, no,
there's a
that
lot of
was
systems, there's a lot of things, there's a lot of back end stuff. Like, again, this is 6 years of knowledge, like the stuff that I know. Like, it's like you're learning it in a crunch time. That's why it's like, oh my God, my nervous system. But it's like the things to focus on right now is just the funnel, right? Many chats to what's the email that they get led to, and then a good delivery on the freebie and a sale. That's all you need to do. The rest of the bells and the whistles, that will come over time. But in the beginning, all you need is the automator to send them the link, something that welcomes them in and reminds them of it, and then the freebie. And then if you really fucking love the freebie, you just keep it, right? And you change the dates around, like it's not live on, October 17th. It's just like, hey, this is a free program that I'm now sending you. That's it.
Yes. Oh, with the live going live, so you just, obviously just go whenever, but I guess for you and Jackie, you've just been kind of going like you try to do them like short, but not a long, extensive period of time. Just like take like one concept, like maybe like 10, 15 minutes of talking. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'd love to say I nail that every time, but I don't. I love to talk. I just keep going and I'm like, Laura, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. And all of a sudden I'm like, okay, babe, I'll be ready in 15 minutes, 45 minutes later. And I'm like, motherfucker. So my goal is to try to get it down to 15 minutes. That's my goal for this month, is to like really get to only tangible points, because I love stories. So my stories go on for ages, as you guys see. Like I will just tell you and give you examples and do the thing where it's like 1.1 story, Laura, just this, like that's it. So 15 minutes is really all you need, but it's
Do you
just
ever
playing
keep it? Sorry, go ahead.
fun.
Do you ever keep them up also on your like feed for like a day or like spend
So
10 hours and then take them off?
my lives, they're all still somewhere on my page. It's just, let's see if I have any. Because I repurpose them on Facebook, that's where I like to go look at them. Let's see. No, they're not here today. What is this one? Yeah, no, it was just on Instagram, or I would redo them on Facebook and repost it there. So that's where I would see them and get reminded of my cute little self and her cute little voice doing shit. But I'm pretty sure they're still on my page somewhere.
This is interesting too. You can put them on Reels, but don't have to put them on your main page.
Yeah,
That's
so
Yeah.
you can post, so it's just here. Like I can take any of my reels off my page right now and just put them on the reel page, so they're not on the front page.
So after you've gone live, it'll give you the option to either like put them,
Mm-hmm.
okay, like put them on your page or just put them in your Reels.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay. All right, cool. But you would say don't delete them if you don't want them to be there, just archive them.
Archive. The
Okay.
algorithm does not like when you ever delete things.
And if you archive them, can you put them into, can you go to that website? If you archive them, can you go to that website that you mentioned
No.
and
You have
download
to
them?
go before you get off the profile, because if it's archived, you won't have a link to put in that.
Okay. All right. Okay. One last question since she's on a call, if that's
Yeah.
okay. About like why would someone so I had someone today like obsessively like all of my stuff. And it's someone I know, but I was like, oh my God, like thanks for all the love. And then he was like, oh my God, I like love everything that you're doing, but I haven't seen your content. Maybe it's just too hot to handle, or maybe you got shadow banned. And I was like, well, how would I get shadow banned? Shadow banned? I have no idea. Is there something that you do to actually have that happen?
This would be a Cassandra question. Drop it in there and tag her.
Okay.
And shadow
Not
bans
in
usually
here.
come from tag her in Telegram, and she'll be able
In the
to talk
Telegram.
more
Okay.
about that. But shadow bans come from hashtags that we use. Who's calling me? Should we say hi to Steph? Neutral little Nancy in Spain. But they usually come from hashtags that are shadow banned. So if you use a certain hashtag, then you won't show up on a feed. But I don't even show up on my best friend's feed.
Yeah, I
So
figured something simple like that, but I was
yeah,
like,
it's
I
just some things. And so I have to like go in. This is why it's like for me, like I play with all these different things of like, how can I be relevant in these things? I figure out how I can get unshadow banned when I post one thing about something, or when I post like something about my relationship and I don't post so many salesy things. And then all of a sudden my things tank when I'm always selling something. And if I don't put a comment here, oh, look, how many of you, like, it just plays with it. And then you randomly pop up on people's shit. It's the algorithm. I just don't cater to it. I just make dope fucking content, and I trust that the people that need to see me will see me. And if they don't see me, I make sure I engage with their profile so they fucking see me. Like, that's how that works. Make more sense? Cool. Stephanie.
Sorry, I had to like hop on a call about my mom's medication stuff. So, but I was still here.
How you doing?
How is she doing or how am I doing? Because that's a two-folded question.
Oh, how are you doing?
Trying not to get emotional, so we won't go there.
Get emotional. It's a girl's room.
Just
We
going
can
through
hold space.
a lot of personal shit. So I'm not caught up on the branding stuff, but I'm basically forcing myself to be here to still show up externally, because if I don't show up externally, then like I'm not gonna show up at all.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I've been quiet a little bit in like Telegram and even on here. Like, and if anybody's even like watched any of my social media, like I haven't been on in like two and a half weeks.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get myself to at least record something this week for my podcast. Just kind of going through some real deep shit that I didn't expect, to be really
Yeah.
honest with you. So I'm just still trying to find ways to show up.
It's beautiful. You're here. Like that needs to be a celebration in itself, because a lot of us hide. I know that is my tendency. Like when shit's hitting the fan, I'm like, fuck seeing me in this space. I don't want to. And there's those shame gremlins and all that stuff. But like the true strength is still showing up for yourself. And the truth is, you're right. It's not going to be your peak performance, but this is your 100%. And that is more than perfect, because this is what you have and this is what you're gifting us and letting us see your heart and all those kind of things. Like we don't have to talk about branding today. Like we can talk about what you actually need supported. Or if
I
it
wish
feels better to like mask and talk about work, we can talk about work. Like whichever
just
one feels better for you.
Yeah, I just wish I knew what it was. Like, it's just some old shit coming up that I thought I had dealt with, and external things triggered it back and really set me back. Yeah, just fuck, I wish I knew what it was. Like, part of me just wants to run and hide. Part of me wants to scream and like literally rip my insides out. The other part of me wants to just like wish I was someone completely different, like all the things of kind of like just coming back up.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's crazy when you do the work, like the internal work, you're like, okay, like it's almost just as bad because when you see it happen, you're like, now I really understand. Now I really like, and you just know that like, shit, I have to go through this. And there's not really like, now I'm consciously making the decision to continue to like try really fucking hard to move forward or to at least move. Yeah, so I'm struggling, to be honest with you.
You're growing in strength, and that's what that is. And you're moving through something where it wouldn't, our protectors are so cute that you wouldn't be going through this if you weren't ready for it, because your protectors wouldn't have let you even experience it, right? This is why we were clouded and blocked for so long and so unwoke, in those days, because we didn't have the strength. Now you have the tools, and it's just a matter of looking at how real the feeling is and letting yourself truly feel it, but also look at how we compound emotions in the emotion. Because what I heard when you're saying this is just like, I want to run away. What I can feel in your energy is like anger that you're triggered again, anger that it's happening, shame that it's happening. And it's like that you're compounding a negative emotion about a negative emotion versus just freely feeling the fact that you're triggered, that something isn't fair and you're fucking pissed and you have shame and you're upset, and that's okay. But the more those little bullies in our head get in the way, would that sit there and be like, you shouldn't be feeling this way anymore. You have enough healing under your belt. You shouldn't be experiencing these things. This is irrelevant. It's not even happening. It's not even real life anymore. That makes it stay even longer versus being the mother that a lot of us didn't get, where you soothe and it just goes, it's okay. Okay. Like really sitting with that little girl and giving yourself exactly what you need, because it is okay. I was triggered as shit yesterday. And I do this work for a fucking living in my relationship, which I also do for a living. It's like, of course, because you want a big life, because you're stepping into something that's great, because you're being more seen, because you took a big risk, because you're putting yourself out there. I'd be surprised if every person in this room wasn't going through some shit right now, because that is what happens when you call in big levels. You get tested, and it's okay. Can you lead yourself with love through that, truly, and do it with compassion versus shame, and grace versus bullying? Because what happens is often, if we weren't mothered correctly, our mother's voice of neglect, of shame, of anger gets in our head versus the mother we want to be to ourselves. And so really sitting with this trigger and just being kind, like that inner child inside of you, like my thing is ice cream. So anytime, or cookies. And so it's just sitting in that space of like, what do you truly need? Do you just need a fucking day off of eating ice cream and playing hooky from school and like doing something that your little girl needs to show her love? Do you need to go shopping? Do you need to eat ice cream? Do you need to go play? Do you need to watch Netflix? Like, do you need to go to the movie theater and sit in the dark in the back like a fucking little crow, like, and do whatever the fuck while you eat Chipotle? All of these things are things that I do, clearly, because they're very specific. And it's just sitting there like, what do you actually need that's going to bring you home to self versus just sitting in the trigger, right? We want to heal the trigger, not compound the negativity that comes with triggers.
Yeah. And like I hear all that, and I do know that I've done a lot better. I know there's still some negativity in there, and there's also the anger around like, which I truly know, like the lack of, I can't control anything outside of myself.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter what the situation is, it doesn't matter anything. I can't control anything outside of myself. And just kind of coming back to that mentality of like, I can only take care of myself. I can only influence myself. I can only control myself. And genuinely like, once again, breaking that attachment to as much as I want to know, or I want to like offer like, you know, not fix, but actually like confront a situation, knowing that I can't. You know what I mean? It's going through that mindset once again.
Well, it's truly surrendering. It's true surrender with the unknown. That's faith. A lot of us are like, oh, I have so much faith, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, true faith. If you actually, I'm going to get biblical. If you look at the fucking Bible, he's like, go walk it in the fucking desert. And they're like, till when? He's like, not telling you. He's like, going where? Not telling you. Is there food? No. Okay, go. Like, that's faith, where you're just like, sure, okay, why not? Like, that's the thing. But like, as women, specifically, because the world is very unsafe for women, unfortunately, we like to know the answers, we like to know the outcomes, we like to know who's going to be there, what time, how much, how long is this pain going to last, what's going to happen with it, what's going to come of me after that. I don't fucking know. All the things we want to control. But that's the masculine, and that's the wounded masculine too. So being truly feminine is sitting there and being like, no matter what, I trust. And I trust because I trust me. And so figuring out in this process, how can you build practices of building a stronger trust muscle with self? Because when we start to wobble in that, that's when we control and grip and need to know answers and need to know things. When even in triggers, we don't actually need to know. But because now our amygdala is fucking activated as shit, it's natural. I do it to Eddie all the fucking time. He's just like, I need to know all the answers. And he's like, sit the fuck down. No, like, you're not doing that. Like, you need to trust me. And I'm like, I'm so triggered right now. Tell me everything. Like, it's just what we do as humans. But to be able to sit there is like, my question to you with all of that is like, do you trust yourself to figure it out, to come out on the other side, to use your tools?
Yeah, I do trust myself.
And so reminding yourself of that time and time again, because when you truly trust yourself, there's things in our lives that are going to happen, but it's the story that you do with it that you can control. You know, like, you can't help the fact that life is shitty. That's literally the purpose of us coming into this human plane, to literally go through it all and then get up to the gates of heaven and be like, bro, wild. Here's all the things I experienced. And it's like, okay, you want a big life? Like, you have to hold the capacity of it all. And that means feeling the capacity of all, but not being a shame gremlin to yourself. Just sitting there being like, I trust me. I trust that I won't sink. Right. And voice note yourself that. I have to remind myself of this all the time because I got a dark ass brain. I'm just like, I trust me. And now you have the skill set. And I know you've invested in your self-development and your feminine, all awakening this whole thing, finding your voice, doing the things you're here, doing the business side of things. You don't quit on you. Like, you are all in on this whole journey. And so it's, even if you're triggered right now, the version of you that the experience happened in, so much more elevated. Like, that version of you didn't have the tools that you have now. So it's the highest version of you now coming back in and nurturing that younger part of you that did have those experiences. And reminding yourself of the tools and showing up and being like, you are here. You clearly have the tools, right? It doesn't make it hurt any less, but the time period between the quote unquote falling off period is a lot smaller, as long as we don't compound that negative emotion.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Of course. What are you feeling?
I know I'm here for a purpose, like life, and like exactly here in this room at this moment. Like, and it's the same thing exactly you said. It sucks not knowing, because sometimes it doesn't help not knowing, like, what the fuck am I supposed to focus on that's just gonna, like, when I'm having the shittiest day, I can still just go, like, this is gonna bring me like the solitude that I need. That's probably not even healthy to say that, I don't know. But you know, so I still do, what's the word I'm looking for, struggle with like my purpose and things like that. Like, I know, like, I'm working on it, and that's all like literally what I'm here to do, as well as like, I know that there's a purpose behind what I'm doing. I just haven't fucking figured out what the fuck I'm supposed to do with it. You know, so it just, other things, like the trigger basically kind of affected multiple things and just kind of like flared up multiple things and flared up, you know, my passive depression and anxiety and things like that. But it's like, I know I'm here for a purpose. Like, so I'm like, literally still trying.
Mhm. What if that's just the purpose? Resiliency.
Kind of seems cruel, to be honest with you.
I
But
know
it's
my gene keys literally is resiliency, and I was like, "You son of a bitch! What do you mean?" And I look at my 20s, and I'm like, "It makes sense." Like all the things, but it's like the way I perceive that now in my 30s is it's not that shit doesn't stop. It's I don't let it affect multiple arenas of my life. So, I've had big things happen in the last 2 weeks, huge things in my life and heavy, heavy things. But I refuse to let that affect my business. But I also can't show up in the same capacity. Why do you think my fucking launch for Building a Branding Academy? It's been very slow considering how I usually launch things, right? But it's like it just doesn't fit, but yet still it's working for me, right? I won't let it affect my health because even if I'm at the gym, I was at the gym 2 days ago at the squat rack, sobbing. But I'm not going to let it affect me from not going. It's like, it's not that the pain isn't there and it doesn't hurt and those types of things, but it's just like when we let it affect all arenas, that's when the depression comes in. Because we're letting it sink all of our ships versus just one area. And girl, the anxiety and depression, I've had it since I was 13 years old. It kills me. It kills me when it sinks in because it feels like there's nothing you can do about it. And this is what I don't think people understand about people that are actually struggling with depression, not just a depressive episode, but when you actually have that side of your brain and the chemical imbalances, it's like nothing else. And so what I have found to be best in those moments is, yes, this area can be affected, right? My relationship can be affected, but I refuse to let that do business. I refuse to let that do health because those are my 3 buckets. Okay, so how can I start to really look at these things? And let me turn this off because that's bothering my channeling. How can I start to look at, I'm still at the gym and I'm crying. I'm still on my calls and I'm still doing things, but I'm not overbooking myself to fucking sabotage things and not feel stuff. Like I'm not doing it in old ways. And so just looking at, your life in those ways where it's like you're being something that helps me. And I hold this through all of the things that I'm constantly tested in is the devil only pulls on those that are meant for something great. Because the ones that aren't here to do something great, they're untouched. And so if you're being tested, I truly, when I feel this, when things happen with my finances, when things happen with my health, when things happen in my business, my relationship, I know my relationship is from God. So when we get tested, I'm like, this is that motherfucking devil. Get out. Watch me. Like it's that type of thing. And so knowing like you're here, you're being tested because you're here for something great. But only you can believe that. And being able to hold that, even when you're sitting there and you're like, yeah, but blah, 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 and all the little shame gremlins come in and convince us of all of these things. It's like, that's where the resiliency comes in because you're fighting the test versus I'm fighting life, trying to life at me. No, that's going to fucking happen because you chose a great life. That's how it's going to work. But it's knowing that mindset switch of like, I'm being tested by the devil because I'm meant for greatness. Therefore, my resiliency is how much can I resist you affecting all other parts of my life during this test. And that's where I believe true leadership comes in. Because you could succumb to depression, you could succumb to anxiety, but you choose, fuck no, I'm not doing it this time. I share that story where it's like, I almost committed suicide a year and a half now. And I knew it's not the first time that I've had this dark night of the soul and like had those moments. And I talk about it where it was just like this longest time, the depression killed me. Like it would just creep in and I was so afraid of it that I would just be like, "Ah," and like run the other way and pretend it didn't exist because I was so afraid of my brain because of how dark it does get. And so this moment I was like, I know I don't actually want to die, but this feeling keeps coming. And so what I called my floaties is on one side, I put I went to my best friend's house and slept on her couch until I didn't fucking feel that way anymore. I told my healers, I told my coach at the time, Shosh, I told my friends, I told Steph and everyone, so they called me all the time. I had them. But on the other side, my other floaty was my self-belief that I actually wouldn't do anything because I wouldn't be looking at all these other things. And I just let myself fucking sink and actually fucking feel the darkness. And what I found in those 4 days, there wasn't anything to be afraid of to begin with. It was just the fact that I was being tested and that I wasn't actually leaning into my full sense of leadership because I didn't want the responsibility of it all. And I was afraid of my own personal power. That's actually what I was. And so I don't know if any of that lands for you, but like something in me felt called to share all of that. But it's like you would not be getting tested if you weren't meant for something great. This whole search of our fucking purpose, I love it, but I think we all get wrapped up in it, not knowing. I think the whole fucking point of purpose is the journey of it versus the destination. Like none of us have a clue what the fuck we're doing. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing half the time. I use Chat Daddy half the time because I don't know. But you're gonna be perfectly okay. Like you're here. You're doing amazing things.
I appreciate you having this space and allowing me just to be how I am and not feel like I have to be
Of
something else.
That's the point of this. This is actually really what business is. In case anyone was wondering, this is what it is. Mental breakdowns, questioning our worth, wondering if we're good enough. How do I do this when my real life is fucking spinning on its head? Like this is actually what it is. The ayahuasca journey of the soul, but you're gonna be more than okay. Like I see how much you put into yourself, right? I've seen that. And this passionate heart to figure out why, and more importantly, to help others. That doesn't go unseen. But that's also not the easiest path to walk, right? Like my life just took off a year ago. I've been doing this for 6 years. You know, it took off for a little bit and then I fucking blew it all up just, you know, for fun. And then it was 3 years again. You know, it's not easy. A lot of us look at all these overnight successes and happy couples and happy families and all this fucking shit. And it's like the relationship I have now. Do you know how many hard conversations we've had to have? Oh, we're gonna kill each other. Like things with my health, all the fucking problems I've had, things with my families. Oh my God. Like financial things. Like I wish more people talked about that. It wasn't happy-go-lucky. Like, especially when you have a dark brain. This is why Steph and I started Unplugged because her and I have really dark brains. It's like it's a different world.
Yeah, I
But
feel
I
you
don't
on that.
worry about you at all. Like the fact that you're here shows your resiliency.
I genuinely believe like I have these things that are set up for whatever reason, like external requirements that make me show up. Because if I didn't, then I would be where I was before when I was battling different parts of depression and anxiety. You know what I mean? So it's like knowing that like when to show up and when to like cancel or move something. But I'm not all together. I haven't been doing this stuff because I haven't been able to, you know? But knowing that just showing up, like obviously I've just showing up today being like this and letting you guys support me in the way you are, like that's exactly what I needed without even knowing that's what I needed.
And that's the beauty of it. You get to be supported, and it really is just, you know, looking at what is within your control, right? Like what can you do with a depressive episode, right? I know for me, like I want to curl up in a ball. I want to cry about fucking everything. I don't want to eat, or I want to overeat. Like I don't know, it goes different directions sometimes. Like it goes like I don't want to do shit. But like I said, it's like I can let my emotional side fall. But my motivation and my discipline, not even my motivation, my discipline to do something. I'll go to the squat rack and I'm crying. I don't fucking care. I go to yoga class because maybe I need a sew or something. I'm in pigeon pose sobbing on my fucking mat. Like I give no fucks if someone's weirded out. I used to do spin class And I would just be dreading tears, like not knowing fully well, like your hips hold all your trauma. Didn't know that at the time, had no clue why I was crying in the middle of spin class. But if you haven't gone to spin class yet, go. It is so good for depression because you get jazzed, but it's moving the energy from your hips. And I swear, it was like the ticket out of my depressive episodes is just going to spin classes and being in that energy and being around women, like bopping around, like just figure out what it is for you where it's like you're not stuck in depression. What I have found is a lot of us let our depressive episodes run a little bit too long because our brain, that's our comfort zone. It's predictable, it's comfortable, it's miserable. And as much as that sounds like, why would my body not want to get out of it? Your body knows this. Your body loves that state. It's predictable. So you actually have to shock your body to get out of it. This is why spin class. This is why cold plunges. This is why certain things where it's just like, maybe you don't need so many low caliber things. You need something to shock your system to get it out. And it's going to feel like the exact polar opposite of the thing that you want to do, but it gets you out of this state. This is why the other day I did my first cold plunge, because I was just like, I need to shake this. And so I went in the water and I was like, oh, that is what I needed. Great. Thank you. Like figuring out what that is for you of like something that can shock your system to just break the pattern, even if it's for 15 minutes, just breaking the pattern so we don't get stuck in the loop.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. Is there anything else you need?
I can't think of anything, but
I'm proud of you for not hiding.
thank you. I'm trying. It's hard. I'm trying.
Girl, I know. And for you to show up on a call like that just shows how much love you have for self. No matter tricky things that your brain wants to tell you, like that just shows to me and everyone in this room, there's so much love there and so much power and so much just, you're here for a reason.
Thank you.
Of course, my love. If there's any way we can support you, just drop it into Telegram. We got you. Even if it's messy, snotty, in a conversation. What? I know. As this whole conversation is going on, there's a hurricane starting outside the window, and Eddie just came in to tell me that it's starting, and I'm like, oh, we love it. I'm gonna freak out. But I don't like it at all. So guys, I will keep you updated. I'm gonna call tomorrow if we have it at 12 or not, if I'm alive or dead. Just kidding, I'm not that dramatic, but my house might be gone, which is super fun. Florida, they said this is a really good move, but if there's anything that you guys need, drop it in Telegram. If you just need love, if the message is just messy, do it. Use the space. This is entrepreneurship. The amount of times I have just rambled. I'm a mess. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, that's what we're all here for. And that's what support is. And we have a bunch of geniuses in that group to support you through anything. Each and every one of you. It's the realness of this whole little sister circle we got on the internet. All right, my loves. I will hopefully see you tomorrow. I will keep you updated. Hopefully we have internet. If not, you guys want to see this right now? I don't know if you can see on the way. I don't know if it's blurry. Wait, because I have my fucking portrait on. Turn the portrait on. Look at this. It's fine. I'm fine. We're fine. We're not freaking out. I'm so cool and chill and relaxed. Okay, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. I guys love you.